Right? Have I forgotten that? We don't usually do pledge it.
I took it off. I took it off the meeting agenda since we're not.
Good evening. I'm going to call to order the Monday, October 22nd, 2018 City Council special meeting. Welcome, everyone. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to conduct a public hearing on the proposed 2019 property tax levy and revenue sources. This meeting will be followed by the first council budget work session, which will begin at 6:30 p.m. here in council chambers. So the first item, public hearing, AB 7611, proposed 2019 budget, levy and revenue sources. And I'd like to invite Revenue Manager Ruth Riddle to make a presentation.
Good evening.
Thanks, Ruth.
It's a pleasure to be here and to talk about the upcoming 2019 property tax levy. But we're going to start off with a look at all city revenues. I believe that's going to be the focus of your workshop later, but this gives you
Thank you.
This gives you a look at a more global picture of revenues citywide. However, we're going to go into the property taxes at this juncture. This is the proposed levy for 2019. So what we wanted to show you first was the property taxes within the context of all the general fund revenues, all the taxes. So if that's easy enough to read, the big bar is in blue, the tax portion of these revenue sources within the general fund. And then you see the other shares, but the taxes are indeed the majority of what you're looking at. And we're showing you a little history from 2014 forward to 2019. 2019 being the subject of tonight's discussion. So now what we're looking at is a stratification of the taxes themselves. And as you can see, the retail sales and use tax is the majority of the taxes, followed by the property taxes in blue. And then third, which I think is important to point out, the B&O taxes, the business and occupation taxes. And you can see the trends. Property taxes has stayed fairly flat. B&O moved up quite a bit in 2015. I believe that's when we raised the rate. And then you see the other taxes accordingly and in comparison to the property taxes.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you may.
So that other is substantially increased this year compared to, most things have looked pretty much the same in 2019 preliminary as 2018, but other is quite different. What's, even though it's a small overall fraction, what goes into other?
We have rents and leases to a large part comprises that, and some other taxes that aren't on my page, but I think it includes natural gas, criminal justice, gambling, leasehold is what I understand is in that category.
City Administrator Miriam, were you going to add something?
Sure. I think I'm seeing a slight increase in what we're budgeting for interest. Interest income is also in that category. I think that's bulk of work.
These are only taxes,
Sorry.
strictly
Other
taxes.
Then I would go with what Ruth just said.
I saw a couple other hands as well. Councilmember Ross, same question? Councilmember Winterstein? No? Okay, great. Continue, Ruth.
All right. So that just puts property taxes within the context of all the taxes, and again, within the general fund. And then this slide, I think, tells a very good story. We have assessed value going up considerably. That's no surprise to anyone who lives in Issaquah. but we have property tax revenue based on those values staying fairly flat. We have not raised our capacity past the legal limit of 1%. And so that does keep the levy itself fairly flat. It doesn't increase significantly from year to year. So I understand what we're recommending tonight is that the council adopt the 1% increase. It's always your option to not adopt that 1% increase, in essence, to bank that unused capacity for future. And so I believe there will be a public hearing in relation to what we're recommending, and that the ordinance will be put before you at a later time for adoption.
Thank you, Ruth. I just want to clarify one thing. You are not voting on the 1% this evening. You are just listening to the public comment, if there is any. Councilmember Ramos.
Question, can you go back to that last slide, please?
I certainly can.
And just so I understand the numbers here, because a little bit confusing. So the red line is the average, is that tax paid per parcel? Or what is that?
No, that is
versus
the
levy
total
rate?
assessed value in millions, so it's missing a few zeros.
Okay. Total assessed value of all property in Issaquah.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
And then the tax levy rate is the city tax levy down below.
Correct.
And that
Based,
shows the 1% per year increase, so it's gone up $1 per thousand in 4 years.
correct. And so that's also missing a few zeros.
That's also in millions.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Questions? Councilmember Ray.
I just need some help rationalizing those numbers. So if we are going up from 18 to 19, an increase 1%, how come 8.82 million is not 90% of 9.1 million, or why isn't, or 99%? Is that a 1% increase? No. It didn't look like it.
It's a 1% increase on the prior amount that was levied.
So, City Administrator Moon?
Sure, there's a couple of factors that go into it. There's new construction that's handled differently in the formula than.
I can't hear you.
New construction value, assessed value is handled differently in the formula. So it's 1% on the base, other than new construction. We can give you the breakout if you'd like to
Breakout would be
show how
great,
that
thank
formula
you.
works. Absolutely.
More questions? Ruth, I just wanted to ask whether or not there was any banked property tax that had not been used that is available to council.
Yes, there is. We've been talking with Hazel at King County about this very matter, going back. In the research I've done at this juncture, we did not use our 1% legal limit from 2009 through 2013, I believe. There were 5 years during the recessionary period where we chose not to raise the levy 1%. We kept it at 100% of prior year.
So to clarify for council, we're not proposing using any of that bank capacity, but it does exist.
We're not proposing, but it's always council's prerogative to do so.
Thanks. Thank you. Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you. Can I just clarify something? So you said on the bottom that there were a few zeros missing. So when I look at the 2016 to 2019, $8.11 up to $9.10. For 2019, it looks like we're proposing, so tell me if I'm wrong, $9.10 per $1,000 of assessed valuation?
No, that's
Okay.
really just to be read as 910 million
Collection.
for our levy.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions? Councilmember Winterstein.
Thank you. So what is the proposed levy rate?
The proposed levy rate, I don't have that in front of me, but it's approximately, I think, about 9.65 per thousand of assessed value.
I think that would be higher than last year. So, okay. think we'll get the final number.
So I'm hearing that's an ask as well for clarification, information. Additional questions? Councilmember Ray.
So if I look at the actual income tax collected versus, I think this is the 8.82 million is the budgeted in 18 tax collected? Is that
Correct.
And does it, and I don't have it right in front of me, but I do have it right in front of me, thank you. It looks like we're going to be in excess of that in 2018. So is our 1% increase based on what?
It's based on prior year actual, and so if you have the ordinance in front of you, the proposed ordinance, the increase is $88,162.
Are you able to see that, Councilmember?
Yeah, I got
Ray?
it, thank you.
Awesome. Additional questions? Okay. Seeing no further questions, the guidelines for citizen comments are displayed on the screen, Tisha. Thank you. Those who signed up this evening to make comments will be called first. If you did not sign up, I'll ask for other speakers before closing that portion of the meeting. If you're here as part of a group, please identify a spokesperson for your group, and you can indicate support for any speakers by raising your hand. Now we have it up on the overhead. Thank you very much, Tisha, and we're going to open the public hearing at 6:12. Has anyone signed up to speak?
No.
Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak to council? Address them on this issue. Second call, is there anyone here this evening who would like an opportunity to speak? And for the final time, is there anyone here this evening who would like to address the council? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I'm gonna say 6:13 just because it sounds bad to say at the same time. There's no proposed council action at tonight's meeting, and this item will come back to council for final action at the November 5th regular council meeting. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 6:13.